I'm Dad's son, so just like to acknowledge and thank you everyone for tuning out today. Before we start, I just want to acknowledge the late Tanu, Lanu, Vise, Ella, Koini, and Lapa, and now number 7, my dad, will join his brothers and sisters up in heaven. So also we just want to acknowledge Nona and her 2 daughters, Leah and Sue, and then their grandkids over in Australia. And then also my brother Herman, who's over in Brisbane, so hopefully he can get along and see Dad and say goodbye to Dad. But just with the COVID situation and all that, it's really hard. Talking to Tan and the kids that the last few days has just been tough, that I can't get over and say goodbye or even touch my dad just to say goodbye to him. But then I look in the room and then I was at everyone's, my cousin's funeral when their mum or their dad passed away, and now I'm up here and I know how it feels and how you guys were feeling. And then especially Uncle Tonu, Tui and Lovey, your brother, and then your sisters and so on. So my Herman said, I messaged him, he said, life is getting shorter, so you just have to cherish and make sure that we can't get time back, so spend it with our loved ones. So it's really important that, I know we said it with all our cousins in Red, and we always say, the only time we meet is funerals, but it's not until now I'm up here and I'm doing an intro for my dad who passed away. So lovely, Auntie Fish, and we're here for you guys. So we'll keep the bond strong, and it's really important that my family and my kids know our local side. Also, just like to acknowledge my sister Murray and my brother Herman. Herman's in Brisbane, so I said earlier that he can't make it, but Murray is here. So the whole idea was today was I want his brothers and his siblings, and then I wanted the rest of my cousins and my family to at least have a chance to say goodbye to my dad. So like I said, thank you for tuning up today. So it's a special day. People say it's a sad day, but it's also a celebration of my dad's life. And man, just even sitting here with Uncle, and he's telling me some stories about what they got up to at the nightclubs and all that. So man, I love to sit with Uncle and just listen, and just with the rest of my uncles about what my dad was like growing up. Now I know some of the stuff that I do, they say, blame my father. Say goodbye to your dad. So I was thinking, how can I say goodbye to 5 minutes? In 5 minutes to my dad, and also my uncles, and then my rest of my family. So the boys and I and Murray, and we all decided that, hey, we'll just get everyone together, and then we'll do our own video of our family, and then we'll send something to Nona. But it's important, for us is that you guys got a chance, like me, you get a chance today just to say goodbye to my dad, your brother, your uncle, and grandfather. So thanks to everyone again. So what we're going to do is we'll just call people up, and then but the first ones that I'll get Murray to talk, and then I'll get the uncles, dad's best friend, and then we'll just open it up to everyone. But at the same time, I think someone will be recording, and then at the end of the day, then we'll just all get together, and then I think Remembrance is the director, so he's going to edit it and try to send it over to Nona in Australia. But and sorry, and then Friday is the funeral. They're going to live stream it, so I don't know if we all just get together or we all decide, are we going to meet somewhere, or do we just send you out the link? But if we all want to get together and all that, let's all just catch up and make a decision where and when, or maybe the guys here. But thank you. It's I'm just my dad. Okay, so
I'm not as good as my brother Tusa, freestyling his words. So I had to do the, how the generation, they type in their things. Yeah, so I had a few words here. So first of all, I want to say talofa to everyone that is here. Thank you very much for being here. And when I looked at the nephews and nieces, in my mind before I came up here, I was thinking of them this small, eh, and babies, eh. And then as they all came out, I'm like, who are you? Oh, you've got a beard now. Oh my gosh. Oh wow. And it was quite funny because when I saw my dear cousin coming with Auntie Filoia, but we drove down and I saw Tyler out there and he goes, hi Auntie! And I'm like, do we have to go through this door? No, you have to walk up it. Oh, hell no. So I drove up here and I was walking in my fit Auntie Filoia. You want to see how skinny she is? And the two cousins there, Ake and Fiona Sina were walking up, and then all I hear was Auntie go, Oka. And I was like this, hi Auntie. And she goes, darling, what happened to you? And I'm going, Auntie, I'm still fat and fabulous. And she goes, whatever makes you happy. But yeah, Auntie is a fine example of, yeah. Thank you, Auntie, for reminding me. But I was going to ask her, but Auntie, don't you see Auntie Queenie, your sister, and me? But she never saw the face, she was too busy looking down. But firstly, I want to say thanks to God for this time that we're able to share with you some of the thoughts and some of my thoughts and feelings. So before I start, I would also like to acknowledge my own little family. If I could have my husband stand. Oh, he's not here. Oh, that's my husband. That's my husband.
Hi, husband.
My daughter and their little family. And then my son over there. Turn on the light, I don't think you can see him. But he's over there with the white cousins and stand around your cousin over there, you need lights. Love you, my family. They're all going to go over. The black is beautiful, Auntie, eh? Yeah, Black Lives Matter, eh, I'd also like to acknowledge my brother Peter, who is unable to be with us at this time. I called him this morning and he sends his love and condolences. Where is he, Marietta? No, he's in Okalangi. He sends his love and condolences to Nona and the family. I guess the impact doesn't hit us as much until an unfortunate moment such as this, when we're unable to farewell someone dear to us physically. Because I know that if we didn't have the COVID lockdowns or all this restriction, most of us will be with Nona at this time to give Dad a grand farewell. I didn't spend as much time with my father. I stayed out of the limelight, but everyone knows that I'm the oldest child of my father. Since the passing of my father, I listened to wonderful stories that some of my cousins and Uncle Reed had told me. Sort of got me jealous, yet proud to see the kind of man he was to many, especially how he could sing. I don't have any of his musical talents. One thing that I do have is his ulavale talent. We came together to celebrate the life of my father, Tusa Taito, who has lived these lasting years on earth and lived an adventurous life. I would like to acknowledge my stepmother, Nona, who tamed him and his soulmate. And we all know that she did tame him. Yeah, look at Anthony going like this. That's because your wife tamed you, eh? Thank you very much, Nonna, for the 45 years of doing everything for him. And he did speak highly of you and the kids. He passed away peacefully where he wanted to, at home in Manly, Brisbane. To your children, Nona, and grandchildren, you were my father's joy and heart. And I'm proud to say that because I have children and I was never there. And even though he did acknowledge me as being his daughter and having grandchildren, but they were there to replace me, and I'm truly grateful for that. Death is never a good thing. It's about physically not seeing our loved ones again. Though I'm at peace to know that I will see you again, as God has a plan that families can be together forever. And I look forward to seeing you in the life after this, when it is my turn. What my father's death has taught me is time is short and precious. It's no good saying I love you or sorry when I'm dead, because it's too late. So while I'm still alive, there are things I need to do, such as keep in contact with my siblings and make an effort to attend extended family events, because it's here where we are able to make memories, good memories. And this is why we are here, to celebrate the life of my father. So God be with you until we meet again, Dad. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Every time I catch up with Dad, and I really love you, I mean, your kids and possibly all them. So, and Dad always talked about you guys. So, yeah, just sorry, I missed acknowledging the club. So, Steve.
Talofa. I don't know whether I'll be able to speak very long, but I just thank you, Tusa, for organizing this, and young Rivers, my handsome boy. It's difficult. Yesterday, or rather the day before Christmas, when I was over at Josina, and I saw the sisters all together, and we sat back and we said, God, why have you left me now? Tusa's gone. Because him and I used to play games. When we used to visit our grandmother, which it was about, I guess, about an hour and a half from where we lived in town. And we always played jokes because he would come and pinch me so I would cry. So that he and my father would have to pay a taxi for us to go. And he would say, you know, this girl, you know, she can't catch a bus. And I look back, and even when we used to sing this, you know, boxes of apples and things like that, Tusa and I would go and bury ours in the ground so that we would take it to school on Mondays and show off to the kids that here we were Samoan kids and we had apples and all this kind of thing. And it just brought me back memory to Ilangi, and I had planned that we were going to go visit him this year. But it's not unfortunate because I guess God has called him. But I did speak with him about 3 weeks ago when I first heard about Omicron, and I rang him and it was to just get the news because he sounded so well. But anyway, and I think Rivers, because he used to do all the best nightclubs in Auckland. Him and Ben Taito, another cousin of ours, and David Parker, you may have heard of him. He was quite jealous of Tusa because he had, even if I say so myself, he had one of the greatest voice, and also he was a handsome guy. And they would play tricks, you know, with poor Dave Parker and our cousin Bill Spayman. He was the classic singer, so he did all the sort of like the flash hotels and what have you. But Tusa did all the nightclubs. And of course with Rapus, you know, they played and they were able to really carry it through. I don't know, I just want to thank you all. I don't want to name you. It's absolutely beautiful to see all the nieces. You realize that I have such a big family, and I just thank God that I'm still here. Maybe there is a reason for me, because I work with a beautiful lady at the Mother of Divine Mercy Refuge, and we're feeding about 3,000 people already. So maybe that's why, as my friend Hachi said, which she apologizes she's not able to come because she's working, that's where God has sent me. And even my brother, I couldn't believe it. And I said, Tusa, one of the good reasons in the refuge is that I don't go out partying as I used to, and sort of like have a drink. I only have a drink when I come to my family. However, Tusa, Marietta, and Herman, I love you. There is not much that I can say except Rivers. Thank you so much for the friendship you had with my brother. I love you. Teresa's not here, but Anthony, Patrick, and Rivers, and young Rebecca and Noel. All of you, can't name you all, but thank you for coming to celebrate my brother's peaceful rest. May he rest in peace. Word for Nona. Nona, thank you so much for having looked after my brother. And I think I'll go along with Marietta that you actually teamed him. By goodness, you would have had a hard job to do it, but you did. So I thank you for the time you looked after my brother, or your time with him. And it was lovely to have actually met you when you came to New Zealand. Thank you for your children, and I'm also sorry we weren't able to give our condolences when your mother passed away. So I'll pass this over to Tui and Lami to come and say a few words. Sorry.
Volunteer myself. And the other thing too, I haven't got my classes, and I hope I can read the word to Tusa. Somebody's got classes in here? I think it's in the car, so I'm pretty organized, but I'm not. Well, on behalf of the family, I give glory to God that we are together. Nothing is instituted by us alone, but our God has given our family a secure life. Tusa is the kingpin of why Tanu Lapa will rest in peace, and myself, Tuito Farmer in Valley, why we have been successful. I thank you for everything. The 5 sisters, the late Etevisa Langola, Ella, Annie, Totoa Queen, and Rex, and all the guidance under Tusa's supervision to make sure that the brother-in-law weren't abusing our sisters. Saying our farewell, we love you, Tusa. To Fa Manvia Le Malanga. Tan Vasa Manea, Tuito Fa Mainga Van, Tingilau Russell Bartolomeo, and family, and Thompson and me, Great Maria, young Rivers, and Teresa. The grand niece of Matalawa, Danielle, and all others. And there's agreement to what I'm saying, and I would like to say a few words to Nona. Hello, Nona and the Pekin family. We give glory to everlasting God Almighty, and giving thee thanks for all this togetherness with Tusa, or to Tusa Mea Malava, for many years with you. We know it's been difficult on this situation for your loved ones. Faced unexpected passing away of your husband. We stand tall with our seniors, Uncle Rivers and Fish, and the old children as well, Tusa and Tanya and family. Nephews, nieces, Lafayette family to support an unprecedented of your loved one. Nona and daughters and grandchildren. We love you from the family in New Zealand. Love you and thank you.
Taro wharawa pa ia mamamaku o tātou a whiri ni aso. Pa ngā rea te moe lea pa oldest. I up there, your case of the family. You can't feel this. Because I've lost a brother. I get you malo, too low, because I am a Samoan, and you can translate to all our cousins around here. Whamon mole, o Tusa. E pei au se pepe whainga Tusa. Tusa maran. E tui lai a ua pese pepe, o mea uma, te kere tumi, e a mai e kia. Mea na maa le ua, e kia. You can't feel it, what I feel. I lost a brother, and I am the youngest of the family. Tusa, all what I say, ia mahuia la marama, copy with him to father to.
A bloody great Christmas present you gave us. This will be short, because all my stories about you are here. Excuse me. I'll never forget the nights in the DB Tavern, the Edinburgh Castle and the Cascade Lounge, and the fights in the Colony nightclub. But my memories of you stretch far beyond understanding. I've got a little short excerpt of a song that was actually one of Tusa's favourites, and one that I remember him for. Hush, little baby, don't you cry. You know your daddy's bound to die, and all your sorrows will now be over. Thank you.
Pass it over to the family, my cousins and that. So just for me, I had a good relationship with Dad, and I was really blessed. Tanya being on my case, hey, make sure you ring Dad, make sure to see how Dad and Nona are. So I was really fortunate that we took our kids over a few times, and they got to meet their grandfather, and even the birth of my son. We were trying to decide names, and then straight away Tanya said, no, it's Tusa. So not only myself, Tusa, then little Tusa carries his name as well. And then we look at Tyler. Tyler's got Dad's character. Well, my dad was just all the stories we're hearing. So I'm gonna miss him. It was tough. I was told not even being able to go over and say goodbye, or even just touching him. And then I said earlier, I sat here and I was in the seats watching all my cousins when their fathers and all their mothers passed away. So I know how you feel now, but when I see this, it's a celebration. I think Rick said it, he ran his last race, but it was a good one. You can even just see with Uncle, not only their brother-in-laws, but they were best friends, and listen to their stories. So like Marita, I think we didn't take the musical side, but we're cockles, so you're in our blood. So I'll make sure that we all keep in touch. So thank you again for me and my family. I better just introduce you to Marita. So Tanya, you want to stand up? So there's Tanya.
Well,
Then my kids, little Tusa stand up, Tusa. And Taito and all that Taito.
Big Tyler. Yes, my Tyler.
But please feel free. Anybody else wants to get up before it's open to you?
I'd just like to thank everybody that's here now. It's lovely to see the family. And thank you, Tusa, for bringing all this argument together. Sadness, but it's happiness. The one thing that sticks in my mind with Tusa is when the Taito died. Mama. There was something that was holding her back. I brought a healer in to have a look at her. And he said, just look, I just want him to look and see whether he could help. It's too late, as he said, that she's got a very strong will, but metabolism was breaking down. But he said, there's still something. But the gentleman said that there was something holding her back, that she should have gone, because everybody was there. And I told Tusa himself, and he pointed out, he said, maybe she hasn't said goodbye to somebody. I got onto that straight away. Mahalo Tusa, because it was him. She hadn't said goodbye, so Dad ran. And while everybody was around, they had their talk, they had their party, and then Tusa said his goodbyes, and Mum said, so for deep breath, it's beautiful. So thank you, Tusa. Anyway, lovely to see you all. Thank you for coming, much appreciated to see all the age. And I think we need to get a little bit together, a bit more. It's wrong that we should come in sad times. We should also enjoy each other. But thank you.
That's got everybody on their glasses, man. This was really great to see everyone together. It's been a long time since we've actually been together. And you know, Cousin Tu's talking about, seems like we only met at funerals and they're sad occasions, but they're also happy occasions because we get to see each other and, you know, remember someone that we loved. And, you know, we all have our little differences along the way, but what shines through is the love for each other. And you saw that today when we all embraced each other. Yeah, Uncle Tusa, this family, it's always been really special to me because of all the memories, you know, as a kid, growing up with all you lot, uncles and aunties. And, you know, my memories of the 70s especially is, you know, Clint Eastwood and Bruce Lee, you know. Those guys were our heroes, but, you know, then I'd come home to Cutler Street and they were my heroes. Like, just as good as those guys on screen in Hollywood. You know, you had Uncle Lovey, he was in the Navy. Billy Joel wrote a song about Uncle Lovey. And Uncle Tusa would play that song and he would say those words. He's talking to Lovey, who's still in the Navy. He probably will be for life. And he thought that was funny, and that was Uncle Tusa, right? You know, always the comedian, always cracking jokes, always making you feel, you know, providing laughter and good times. And, you know, Mum loved Jizzle, whatever happened. So those days for me, as well as Anthony and Teresa, you know, that was special. Pat was, you know, a bit older than us all, and so we had a lot of heroes to look up to as young guys, kids. You know, the memories of digging out the driveway at Dad's house, number 10. And I think Tusa told his mates that there was a party going on Cutler Street, so they all showed. He said, be there early. So they all showed up. And I knew they thought it was a party because they had all their nice clothes on, and then Uncle Tusa would give them a shovel and go, there you go, pick that hole. And they did their party, but they had to do their work first, but they loved it. Guys like, you know, there was
obviously Pat was around, there was Dennis Pritchard, there was Tim O'Dea, Timbo, who, you know, I don't know, just by fate, I met up with him maybe a couple of months ago, and I gave him Tusa's number, and those two connected. You know, those parties at number 10 were amazing. You know, I can honestly say that I don't think I've actually been to a better party in my 56 years. You know, because you had Uncle Larby would break out the Neil Diamond. He was pretty good at it. Tusa could do just about everything. He was hard to beat, but he always gave props to my dad. He always said that Dad was the real star of the show. And then of course, you know, Auntie Philoia, Auntie Anastasia, she could sing, she could dance. Mum the same, you know, and then I remember Lafayette girls when your dad came from Samoa with Mum. Met them the first time. There's a beautiful photo somewhere, I hope I can find it for you, of it must be your mum and dad's maybe wedding day, but they're sitting in a chair and all the boys are behind them and they're young. You know, Uncle Lovey's there, Uncle Tusa's there, Uncle Tu's there, and it's one of my favourite photos. I'll try and dig that out for you sometime. But those parties were amazing, and you know, Uncle Tusa was always showing up with, well, I mean, everybody loved him, and a lot of the girls in Auckland town loved Uncle Tusa, and so he was always showing up with a one or two, or you know, if you didn't have one, he'd let you borrow one of his, and because he loved everybody, and that was just his nature, you know. But I never saw any of those girls not having a great time. They loved the parties, they loved the hospitality. As did guys like Tim, and you know, Tim didn't give him too much of an excuse to come around number 10. And growing up there as kids, you know, me and Teresa and Anthony, we just thought that's how you grew up. But it wasn't until, you know, we made our way around the world and we realised it wasn't quite like that too soon.
Our poor neighbours.
If I can, I'll just speak a little bit about my time with Uncle Tusa and when I first met Auntie Nona. So in 1988, I decided I was going to do my OE, and that's when I first met Auntie Nona. And she was very hospitable, although she was sort of watching me with a pretty keen eye. And it wasn't until probably about a couple of weeks in she realised he's read some, he's not too bad. So she told me that, look, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't sure about you because your cousin Russell came here before you. Yeah, well, I don't know about you, but we don't do sunbathing here in Willingham. So anyhow, I thought I'd make a good impression on her, and they were doing extensions to their home. So I asked Uncle Tus if he'd get up early in the morning and go work down at the chicken factory, I think it was. And I'd say, look, what do you need me to do? And so I helped dig out under the house and all that. And I must have been doing a good job because Uncle Tusa decided he was going to give me a little treat. And then he said to me, look, Red, on Saturday morning I like to go to the market, I buy a slab of gluten, which I didn't know what that was, but that was Foster's beer, and a slab of bronze, he used to call it. We got through that slab, and then Uncle Tusa went in the house and got another slab. And anyhow, this went on all night. And we were sitting out in his garden in the back there, and till the morning came, and I realised it was the morning because Auntie Nona opened the window, and she said, "Look at you two bloody dickheads, you've been there all night." And Uncle Tusa wasn't slow, he said, "No darling, we just woke up and Red just gave me this beer." I want to say thank you to Auntie Nona and to Uncle Tusa for helping us get started in Aussie. Probably the thing I really remember about Uncle Tusa was he's a funny guy, you know, and you all know that. He was always cracking jokes, and he was the king of the one-liners. But that was Uncle Tusa, and then I'll leave you with Uncle Tusa had about 3 to 5 jokes that he'd tell on rotation, and I've heard them all before. I must have heard them all 100 times, but they were always so funny because of the way that he told them. And he used to tell me this one. He'd say, "You know, Red, there was a little white baby, a little white girl, and a little black girl. And the white girl went to her mum, 'Mum, when I die, what will happen? And Mum said, darling, you'll grow a pair of beautiful white wings and you'll fly up to heaven and become an angel. And then the little black girl turned to her mother and said, Mum, when I die, what will happen to me? And Mum said, darling, when you die, you'll grow a beautiful pair of black wings and you'll fly up in the sky as a fruit bat. So you probably can't tell those jokes now, but it was one of those things back then, it was hilarious. And anyhow, Uncle Tusa had a great effect on me as a young fellow, as well as my Uncle Lovey, Uncle Tui, my dad. You know, growing up with those sorts of influences around you, this is what you see, this is the product of today, and all those mistakes I've made in my life, it's because I looked up to those men. So, Auntie Nona and Suze and all the girls and family in Australia, we're thinking of you, our hearts are broken as well. And thanks everyone.
First of all, I want to apologise. This dressing up in colours, about.
You got the right colour, Tony?
Yeah, I thought you got the right colour because it's the colour of the greatest rugby league team in the world. I'd also like to make an apology. Uncle Tusa was my favourite. Sorry about he just. He's in my middle name. Yeah. Getting back to what Red was saying, he was like a superhero. We used to play ball with that, and I used to watch him because he was a tall shark. And I played one game against him. He took the first shot, he sunk every ball on the table, and I've been trying to emulate that ever since. Yes, and a big thanks to Nona and Susie for looking after him. You found the right woman there. She's awesome. Oh yes. I'll just leave you with this. Whenever I was feeling down and a little bit down in the mouth, and he would turn up, he'd say something like, "Hello, handsome." Obviously his eyes were going even back then, but just the way he could make you happy every time he was with us, and that was, he'd probably be at least 3 parties a week, all nighters. So, just want to say it. Love you, Uncle, and have a nice rest.
I just wanted to say a couple of things, especially to Auntie Nona. To Auntie Nona, thank you for loving that giant of a personality. He's probably the most, if you never got a chance to meet him, he's probably it's like a ray of sunshine walking around and just lit the place up. That's whether with the guitar or a joke or just a smile. And for me, I've got to say, he was a yardstick of what a bloke should be.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's good to see all of you. So growing in the back there, and so is my cousins at the front here, and Uncle Lavi, and Uncle Tui, and Auntie Philoia. This is sadness time, but this is how life goes. We just enjoy every single moment of our life, and so happy to see my family and Uncle Remembrance. I'm so glad to see you too. You're sorry to the sadness of Uncle Tusa. I know you've been so close with him, but it's say it before, it's life, and we just enjoy every days. And as Patrick was saying, that it's good to, we all need to catch up again. And it's I still miss this time with my auntie Etabise at Cutler Street, and Auntie Lanu at North Shore, Auntie Philoia, Uncle Lavi, and Uncle Pali. We had that bond that never any families have. So we want our generations to have that again. would be good. But I just want to say a few things about Uncle Tusa. You know, I went to Australia 2019. I went there to visit the boys, and then Auntie Flavia was giving his phone number and where he stays. Anyway, I rang him on the day I arrived, and he said to me, "Oh, niece, when did you arrive?" I said, "Oh yeah, I just arrived on the same day, but I really want to come and see him, and how is he?" He said to me, "Oh niece, when you come, please come and wait at the front of the house." I said, "My uncle?" He said that him and Nona are coming on the wheelchair. I said, "Oh, okay, uncle, I'm so sorry to hear that." So when I went there, I arrived the next day, 2 hours, he's waiting there for me. And then I saw when I arrived in front of the house was 2.5 hours just to travel there for car drive. And I was expecting him to roll down with a wheelchair, but when I walked at the front, he was standing there hosting the plants. And I said, "Uncle, I thought you said to me that you were on the wheelchair," and he was cracking up laughing. I said, "Oh," and then we were hugging and crying, and he was so happy to see me, and I said, "Uncle, maybe about time for you to come and visit us in New Zealand, we miss you," and then he said, yeah, okay. So we had a all day staying and talk about the family, and Nona, thank you Nona for that hospitality that you showing us, and then in the end he said to us to come back the next day. So I said, "Yeah, okay, Uncle, we'll come, and then we'll see what." And then he came to say goodbye, and he gave me some money, and he said that my lunch to all the family back in New Zealand. And he also said to him, "It's about time for you to come and visit us in New Zealand. We miss you." And you know, but he said that he was happy, he was strong too. Because he was in good condition. And he said that he will come, but then you'll wait and see. But he was more talking about the church stuff and that. So Uncle, we may your souls rest in peace, and so good to have a short time with you. And one day we're all going to see you again in heaven. And thank you, Nona, for that time that me and Stephen come around, and your hospitality that you've given us. Thank you very much. And thank you. Yeah. Taila.
Talofa. I think it's a bit hard for me just to say a few words as well. It's so good to see you all. Uncle Larry, Uncle Pali, and Auntie Fish. I think my mom was Uncle Tusa's favorite sister. Sorry to say that, but I just want to say a few words. All the time that he came to visit Mom, while my husband was still alive. Recently, my husband just died last year, February, and I was thinking of him when he comes home. He always asked him to, we're gonna go for a ride, and they took the whole night to go, and then he said to my mom, "Oh, just leave her, let's go and find other girlfriends. Just leave my sister's daughter, we can get some." So he's, and he always sing that song, Billy Ocean, that's his favorite song. So I still remember those days. So I just like to express our hearts for you, Tusa. We're here for you guys, and Marita, and Herman, and Peter as well. And Auntie Nona, we just say a few words to wish you all our condolences for you today. And may he rest in peace. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll be short. I think it's, like everybody else has said, it's so lovely to see everyone. And we see each other at set times, and we always say that we're going to get together and we'll do something about getting together. And for me, I always say this, and I always feel this, it's a privilege to be part of a family, but we all have a responsibility to our family as well. So I think from today, we should all try our best to see each other, to see one another, and where
all diverse, dynamic, like any other family. Jesus' family wasn't perfect, and so is our family. We're not perfect. We all have our own strengths and weaknesses, but we should always acknowledge one another. And seeing one another today, hugging and embracing, it really, really brings back memories of our elderlies, of our aunties, and of our family. What conquers all was their love for one another. And let's all stand together as well and show that love for one another, no matter what. So let me think about Uncle Tusa. I was quite young, and I know my mom was always very proud of her brothers and her sisters. So when they come over to visit us in Samoa, it's like the queen or the king was coming home, because everything has to be cleaned up. And everything has to be prepared for her sisters and her brothers, because that was her love for her family, and that was her mountain, that was her pride, was her family, her sisters and brothers. So Uncle Tusa was no less. Uncle Tusa always stays with Auntie Marina, so we know when he's in town, somebody is sent over to let us know Uncle Tusa was in town, and like everybody else say, he was Elvis of Samoa when he arrives. And I remember one time when I was starting my career in the bank, and I went out one night, and I was on the dance floor, and on my side view, I saw this man with short shorts going for it with this young girl. And I look around, it was my Uncle Tusa, and nobody knew was in town at the time. So he turned up at home. Obviously, he went around town before turning up at home, because he knows when they turn up at home, Mom will never allow any of those women coming home, because he will always tell the women, oh, they've got 10 kids, 7 grandchildren, all waiting at home for him. So that was our mom treating her brothers. And I think Uncle Tui, Uncle Lavi, Uncle Tusa, and Uncle Tanu, she was really treating them as her own kids. And when she expected them to listen to her as well. So all the best, Auntie Nona. I never got the chance to meet Auntie Nona, but thank you for looking after our uncle. Thank you for loving our uncle and loving our family. I'm so sorry, Uncle Lavi, Uncle Tui, Uncle Redbus, and Auntie Fish. I know the hurt that you're feeling this time is not the same because of your brother. So our hearts are with you. We'll continue to pray and for your strength, for you guys to continue on. And as we go on to the new year, let's hope for God's love on each and every one of us.
So beautiful listening to the ukulele, and just remember the time over North Shore and all that, and Auntie Lovely's house and Dad and everything was singing guitar and the ukulele. So hand over to Russell.
Ja, maar hoor je voor van de man maak, hier van de Madrid. Yeah, I'm Tanu's eldest son. As you can see, my dad was an angel. He was an angel, but they call him the devil in disguise. I just want to acknowledge my cousin Marietta and cousin Tusa and Herman and family, Nona, I haven't met before, but our thoughts are with you during this time. But I think enough has been said, so I think I better start the party off singing a song, and I'd just like to invite my family up. As you can see, my dad was he loved his wife so much, he had one good wife. Just like me, I only have one woman in my life. never looked at any other woman that I prefer. That's the example that you young kids are coming up. There's no girlfriends here, man. When you bring a girl here, it's a wife. So we're looking forward to the wedding. So this is my little family. And my wife didn't take me, I take her. This is my wife, Veroma, my eldest daughter, Harmony, Yokopeta, my son, Valentino. As you can see, we've got a bit of Italian side, so Valentino, Tanmafili, yeah, and Matolo, Tanmafili, Tusa, Nevelap, so Tipa. And this is, so we extended our Samoan Kingdom family over to the Kingdom of Tonga. And then my grandson over here, his name is Tuyana. And then the boss lady, so this is the macho man of our family. This is she's named after Antiquini. This is very great. Just want to dedicate this song to Uncle Tusa. Rest in love. I don't need a microphone now. You know, have you heard Uncle Tui's voice? Oh, he's the danger man. I can tell by the way that you're probably crying forever. The stars in the sky don't mean nothing to you, they are mirrors. I don't wanna
tell you one very short story about Tusa and me. Tusa came to live with me and my wife, Vese, and he stayed with us for about 2 years until the going got a bit rough. And the reason was that we would go out to parties on Thursday, Fridays and Saturdays because that's the days we were playing in the bands. And then we'd probably carry on Sunday. One night we got home about 4 in the morning and I opened the door and there was a dragon inside. And it screamed out at us, "Are you married to him or me?" Sorry about that. All the other stories, they're not for publication.
My dad, your brothers, your uncle, wife, yeah, great stories. Just said, Steve, I'm here to go, and he just said, now I know where you get your humour from, Tusa. So, yeah, once again, thank you on behalf of Tanya, Tyler, and Tusa, my family, and Maria and their kids, Pascal. It means a lot. I know we couldn't get over there, and I said earlier, my sister, yeah, that it was tough that I couldn't get over there. All I wanted to do was just touch there and say my goodbyes.
Very short. Hi everyone. Hi family. Hey everyone. I miss you all. Just something from our younger generation, on behalf of everyone here. We're all grown now, we're all living our lives, but the feeling of being together as one, there's nothing else that can be compared to that. So on behalf of our generations, my younger cousins, brothers and sisters over there, we want to convey our condolences to Auntie Marietta and Uncle Tusa, Uncle Herman, our family in Australia. This pain is really hard, but you'll get through it. We all have a strong tree and strong branches to lean on together as a family. And my uncle, and say hi to Mama and our aunties up there in heaven. I know you guys are all dancing and celebrating each other. Once again, looking down at us, and we hope that we make you proud and carry on your spirit in our lives as well. You can see our humor, and I missed out on the music talent too. But you can hear all our strong voices and our strong spirit. So you are still with us all, and we will see you again soon.
This is one of my sister, Lisa's. No matter what any someone says, even though she's my sister, she had Barbara Streisand's voice. And I've always said I've never heard any other Samoan girl, even the ones that are coming up now, has the same voice as my sister. But this is what we used to play. It was one favorite song, and my brother Tusa used to absolutely love it because the words in it are absolutely the real Samoan high language words. Unfortunately, because of time, I wasn't able to translate it, especially for Ranona's sake. But there is one thing that I would like to say about my brother, aside from what I'm sorry, being sad, because it was so special. We were very special because he was the eldest of the boys and I was the youngest of the girls. When our uncle, my mom's brother, died, he was there are 4 families in Samoa, and the history of Samoa, regardless of what's happening now. There's the Mata'afa, Malietoa, Tuimalili Whānau, and Tamasese. So we're from the Tuimalili Whānau, and we thank God that we came from this family. And so we're connected to the Malietoas and the Mata'afa. The Tamasese has a different root. But when Uncle Tuimalili Whānau died, my cousin Mokengi, who is now in Fiji, and Yuni, they're probably in Australia, he was chosen by the then Uncle Tanu, who was then the head of state, to come and take the name of Tuimaneri Whānau. But unfortunately, Mokengi said he made excuses, but it was a reason why he was sent to New Zealand, so he could come and take the name. So when Mokengi refused, I remember Queenie, you know, their mother, ringing up my sister Lana, who was then in Oman, in Bahrain, to get her to come back from Bahrain and bring Tusa to take the name. And of course I was sort of like, you know, me and Tui and Lavi, we weren't really, you know, important because we didn't have to say. But Tusa, by that time, you know, he was on his way to Australia, and we had to tell Queenie, sorry, you know, if Tusa is too young, so Nona, I'm so glad that you took him, because otherwise he would have been married to a Samoan girl with so many children and too many whalabelavas. So anyway, he would have been the head of state by now had he lived. Yeah, anyway, that's a part of my story. But you know, when we were young, because my grandmother lived about 10 kilometers away from home. And Tusa, because he was one of the favorites of my mother, and he would always say, "Fish, come, come." And we would, when my father, after meeting with the police and Uncle Frank and Uncle Lavia, they would be drinking, and they would leave some, you know, alcohol in the bottles. And Tusa would say, "Come on, Fish, we'll go and give this to the crabs," because we lived, you know, by the beach. So we used to go and pour it. We'd catch the little crabs called the kupa, land crabs, and pour the alcohol in it, and then we'll sit there and laugh our heads off because we'd be going round and round in circles. And when Lanu, I used to send, you know, like, you know, she would send me these beautiful dolls, and Tusa would say, "Fish, you're not Palani, you know, only Palanis play with those dolls." So he would break my doll's hands and get the funge, you know, which is the thing of the breadfruit tree, and use that on the arms. And I said, "But it's really ugly." He says, "Yeah, but that's Samoan babies. You don't want Palangi babies." You know, that was, yeah. It was, but always, when we used to go visit, you know, I said, "Tusa, I don't want to catch the bus because those buses, you know, are really like, you know, just wooden seats." And he says, "Okay." So he would take me out and he will shove something in my mouth, and I would be sick, you know, vomit. So we have to go back and tell my mother. She said, because we called our parents, you know, Tina and Tama, but because the Samoans laugh at you because all of them call their parents by their first names. So you didn't really want to get the kids to hear you saying Tina, Tina, you know, and try, yeah, or, but it was just mother and father. And he would say, you know, Tina, Tina, you know, she said, "Pardon? Oh, this girl is sick, she can't, you have to tell, you know, father, we have to catch a taxi, you know, all the way to Elva and all the way back." And when you look back now, you know, like I was thinking, my gosh, you know, where did my mother come get the money from, you know, because it was only him working. It was only when Vise, you know, got a job and Lanu got a job that they were able to help. But yeah, so we had a beautiful life, yeah. But anyway, sorry, yeah, got carried away there. sorry.
Vai,
Manu malo